Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall. You're here with Ren the Thief, otherwise known as Drax Craven, when he has to catch the engineer. Damn it. How am I supposed to catch this guy? Or can I... Oh, hey buddy. Can I use... Okay, no, I have to be up right next to him. That's frustrating. Okay, there we go. And now I've got to deal with these twerps. This is going to be frustrating. Can I shoot this guy? No, can't see him. Really don't want to put more hurt on the engineer than I have to. Oop, but I can kneecap him again. And that's good. I want to do that. Yes, kill your friends. Yes, wig out on cover. Oh, I think I got this guy. I think I got him. Oh, got him. Minus 6 AP. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of this ganger trash. Oh, Eager's fighting like a troll possessed. I only wish I had one more ability point, so that way I could mark a target and go full auto at the same time. Be a marvelous thing. Sadly, just not possible. Wait, light cover? From what? Oh god. That's not good. Quick, run into the open. Oops. Wow. Total whiff. Total whiff. Full party whiff. God damn it. Nah, man, this one guy's gonna take us down. This one guy. Did anybody else see that? The bullets flying out of nowhere. Anyway. Help me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're gonna find out what he knows. Whew. I get the distinct feeling we're going to break a lot of this guy's things. The engineer lies splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Eager shoves a bottle up to his nose and squeezes. The engineer shudders violently and then the trembling begins to subside. An aerosol BCD to help treat the seizures. Bannock was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. It won't last long, but it should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a question. Fuck you, troll. See? He's talking already. The engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that rack his body. He takes a deep breath, holds it, and releases it slowly. Then the tremblings begin to subside. You know, if he weren't, all fucked up, bleeding, and his cyberware weren't going berserk, he would be really intimidating. Or at least a little intimidating. We have some questions for you. I hope you have answers. I know the troll bitch. We have a history, but you are a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this stranger? Not many do. I have the stomach for all sorts of things. Things you can't even imagine, Yuli. The Shadowrunner thinks he can frighten me. How adorable. Oh, Yuli, you should be frightened. She slaps him across the face, splitting his lip down the middle. The impact sounds like a gunshot. You're in serious trouble, my friend. Eager leans in towards the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained Duraplast tiles. You're helpless. A fucking cripple. But if you answer our questions, things will go easier for you. So tell us, whose payroll are you on? She grabs a fistful of the orc's hair and lifts his head. Her face is inches from his. Tell us who sent you to Shot Nest. Alright, you want to know so badly? I'll tell you. Tamina sent me here. They want to use Shot Nest as a base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. There. You've got your intel. Now set me free or kill me. Yuli, you wouldn't roll over an employer this easy. Your rep tells me that much. No? No, Eager's right. You're jerking us around. You wanted a name? I give you a name. Want more? I can give you those too. I can send you 100 clients who'd love a piece of Shatnest. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? I've got a couple ideas. You could try beating the truth out of me. You can try cutting on me. Get creative with the pliers if you like. Every time you hurt me, I'll give you a different name. Torture me or don't, it'll all end the same way. I'll be dead and you'll know nothing for certain, and my clients will move ahead on schedule. Well, the point is, if you cooperate, maybe it doesn't have to end that way. Maybe you get out of here alive. You think I'm delusional, man? I'm already dead. The she-troll besides you is going to put a bullet in my brain as soon as she gets what she wants. Just look at her. Take a long look at that ugly troll face. She's just aching to put me in the ground. Eager's hand bunched into fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of the hatred behind her eyes. You've got bigger issues to worry about than my face. Yuli, if you don't start telling me what I want to hear in the next 30 seconds, this is going to get messy. I know that look, Yuli. I'd start talking if I were... You know, Eager, I'd like to tell you a story. We share more history than you know, you and I. Eager says nothing, but her eyes narrow. This is a funny story. It's a story about your time in the KSK. A story about futility. I can tell you all about the many lives you've touched, and how the syndicates touched them again afterward. Would you like that? Double, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel. Anything we might have missed on the way in. I don't know if that's a good idea, Eager. It's necessary, Double-Decker, and I won't let this twisted prick chase me out of the room. You can tell me whatever story he likes. This guy is getting under your skin. You can't afford to kill him before he can get the truth. Don't worry about me. Everything's alright on my end. But this asshole is right about one thing. We aren't going to solve this on his word alone. No, of course not. I'm sure that he'd eventually spill the name we're looking for, but it'd be buried in so much white noise that it'd be impossible to filter it out. If you can find some corroborating evidence, though, that might help us wade through the river of bullshit he's going to spew. I can't tell you what you're looking for, but he was doing business with Rambach in this building. There must be something in here that can tell us who he represents. Alright, I'm on it. Be quick. Oh. Alright. Got an open door, some barrels, terminal, a corpse. The broken body of a human man lies on the floor. His face is a mess of fresh cuts and congealing blood, and his head is oddly deformed. His mouth is twisted into a macabre smile. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull has been fractured in at least 3 places. The center of his forehead is particularly gruesome. It looks soft, as though the skin were stretched like a tent between shards of broken bone. Looking up, you can see a great smear of gore on the door of the room you found him in. The implications are clear. This man bashed his own head in trying to get out, and he did it with a smile on his face. His hands are badly broken, too. You've seen these sorts of injuries after bare-knuckle fistfights, but never anything this severe. This man punched something hard and went on punching until his hands were reduced to useless slabs of meat. Draw a medical conclusion. All these symptoms point to one thing. Something drove this ganger into homicidal fury, and that fury didn't die out until he did. You've heard of pharmaceuticals that can do this sort of reaction. PCB, Datura, substituted cathinones. But without a lab test, there's no way to be sure what drove him to this. Okay. Dark. What do we got on the barrels? Light jostle shows that they're completely empty. Okay. The cargo container is empty. What do we have on the other side of the room? Or building? Oh, a ledger! I love ledgers! There's a small ledger lying on this crate. The cover is cheap leatherette and the paper is tissue-thin newsprint. The pages are filled to overflowing with handwritten text. You don't recognize the language, but judging by the accent marks, you guess it's a Scandinavian tongue? Well, you can't read it. The arrangement of the text tells you this ledger is primarily being used as an address book. Ooh, I'll take that. Thanks. Forklift. Oh, it looks like it hasn't been used in years. Oh, well. I got a ledger, and I got an illicit substance being used. Not just any illicit substance, but a dangerous one. As you approach, you can see that the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be streaming from his nose, which has been crushed into a wad of bloody meat. Eager turns to face you. Her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? Having fun. I'm not doing this for fun. I'm doing it because he deserves it. If you knew half of what this bastard has done, if you've heard the same things that he just told me, you'd do the same. Fair enough. Just please don't get carried away. We need him. Just tell me what you found. Yes, please. Enlighten us. Oh god, he looks worse. I found this ledger. I don't recognize the language, but it looks Scandinavian. Norwegian, maybe. I'm thinking that this is written in Bokmal. I can't read it, but it looks like shipping manifests. Yeah, something like that. There are a lot of addresses in there. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. Find something? Wordlessly, she turns the journal around. At the top of the page, written in a different hand in a single word, it's written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date, but I guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to a day of the week at all. Could be code for something. Taken out of context like this, it's impossible to say. It should be good. It might be nothing, or it could mean that he's back in bed with the Lobachevsky Syndicate. The engineer holds his silence. Oh, you're taking orders from your old bosses? Maybe. Who's to say? Hey, you are, if you know what's good for you. What's happening on Wednesday, Yuli? This Wednesday? I'll be putting your mother to work on the street corner, and when she's all worn out, I'll give your father a shot at the job. You could do better than that. Go die in a ditch. Find anything else? We need to be sure about this before moving forward. Found a body in the other room. From the looks of him, he tried to use his head to beat down a steel-reinforced door. Interesting, but not unusual in these parts. There are all kinds of drugs that could make a person act this way, and most of them aren't hard to get in a place like Shadow Nest. Found anything else? I must have missed something. Oh no, what'd I miss? Got the chemical barrels. Oh, courier drone. I couldn't use the controls, but I can use the drone now. Drone is sitting in a charging cradle. Its turbofan is unpowered. Pop the lid on the cargo container. Examine the drone more closely. Smash the plastic. Enter password. Oh. Wednesday. Nice. Inside you find what appears to be a homemade SimSense chip. It sits securely in a custom-made plastic bracket. Angry hissing sound comes from deep inside the drone. Ah! Okay, so when I got the thing, it self-destructed. Okay, so I got some SimSense that makes people act crazy. Not your average BTL, something far worse. There are a pair of courier drones in the other room. No markings, they look custom built. One of them had been slagged, but the other had this chip in its storage compartment. Interesting. This mean something to you, Yuli? No identifying markings. I've seen enough BTLs in my time to know one when I see one, but this is different. It's been modified somehow. Go ahead and slot it, bitch. It'll take you on the ride for your life. Smack him for me, will you? I'm busy. Slap. Your fist connects with the ruined meat of the engineer's nose. He coughs, chokes on his own blood, and then spits a wad of it onto your chest. You don't know what you're holding, Slag. You don't deserve to touch that chip. Oh, I think you're right, Eager. Our friend here is an addict. Fuck you. The thing is, I know our friend's rep, and I'm telling you, he's much too careful to get himself addicted to Sims. If these things have him hooked this badly, they must be even more addictive than standard BTLs. This wouldn't be the first time something like that hit the streets. Talk with enough Sim junkies, you'll hear all about it. Interesting. Tell me more. Sort of a legend out on the streets. The ultimate high. They call it 2XS. Never heard of it. Supposedly it hits the streets of Seattle a couple of years ago. It vanished after a couple of months there one day. Gone the next. Nobody knows why. Scary stuff. I haven't heard rumors of anything like that around here, thank God. I'm not saying that this is 2XS or even anything like it, but there are Sims out there that are even stronger than Beetles. It's possible that this is one of them. For those not in the know, BTL stands for Better Than Life Chips. Beetles for short. It's a SimSense program. SimSense itself is not particularly dangerous. You know, no more dangerous than the immersion created by video games or too much television. But a BTL is better than life. Sensations feel stronger, things are prettier, everything's better in a Beetle, and that's why they're so addictive. Got anything to add to that, Yuli? You have no idea how wrong you are about all of this. If I could move my arms, I'd take that chip from you and show you what it does. I'm sure that you would. Good find, Double. We've struck a nerve. Any other thoughts? Yeah, actually, I think that I might know where the other chip went. Remember the body I found in the other room? Yeah, good thought. Go check it out, but be quick. I don't know how long it'll be before we have company here. On it. Let me see. Does this guy have search for the missing chip? Peeling back a patch of matted hair, you find something that a casual viewer would have missed. The man has a chip jack. It's a cheap model, sufficient for loading SimSense chips and BDLs, but little else. Doesn't take much effort for you to pry it open. Inside the chip jack, you find a glob of plastic. It looks as though whatever this guy was running melted down sometime after he slotted it. A chip jack like this couldn't generate enough heat to destroy a SimSense chip. The only logical conclusion is that this chip itself was wired to melt down after use. That would make sense. That's the problem with beetles. Like, if someone finds a beetle that they like, they will just keep using it until they find the next one. If the beetle were to destroy itself, well, you can get more customers. Oh, God. Find what you were looking for? Yeah, I pried the chip jack open and found a blob of melted plastic. I've heard of things like this. Single-use Sims designed to self-destruct after they're slotted. Keeps the customers from using the same BTL over and over. I'd say that you found our missing chip. Yeah, I agree, but the ganger who slotted this wasn't blissed out like a normal Sim junkie. It was almost the opposite. He looked wild, like a madman. This isn't a beetle. Beetles don't make you cave your own skull in. Madman. You don't know a damn thing. Well, then why don't you educate us? The chip doesn't drive you insane. It opens your eyes. Slot one and you become a god. I, too, was a skeptic. Then the wolf caught me, and the raven opened my eyes, and now at last I can see. Give me the chip. It was promised to me. I need it. Well, just tell us who you're working for, and it's all yours. Winter Night. Oh. Never heard of them. Of course you haven't, bitch. If you had, you'd already be dead. They don't leave loose ends. They have money, she-troll. Money and influence. Enough to put the syndicate to shame. Even I cannot say how much. But I do know what I've seen is just the tip of the spear. Alright, let's say you're telling the truth, and some sort of secret society's behind this. What do they want with Shatnest? They do not tell me these things. All I know is that they'd want me to store things for them. Crates, boxes, shipped in from all over. No cargo inspections, and no traces back to them. What are they shipping in? Weapons, drugs, more of these? You think that I ask them? It is not my place to know. All that I know is what was promised to me. Give me the chip. You promised. He promised you the chip. I, on the other hand, I didn't offer you a goddamn thing. Well, she's got you there. Goodbye, Yuli. She plunges her blade into the engineer's throat. The orc lets out a startled, gurgling sound, thrashes, and dies. Eager wipes her hand clean and looks up at an expression of grim satisfaction on her face. Well, that takes care of that. Thanks for the assist, fearless leader. Anytime. Ready to head back to the Cruise Bazaar? We need to let the F-State know about this. Hang on a second. We should search the body first. Who knows? Maybe he has some additional evidence on him. Or in him. Could be that he has headwear storage. We won't know until we go digging. Alright, let's do this. Time passes. The job is long and incredibly unpleasant. But eventually you find something. A hidden cargo compartment in one of the engineer's cyber arms. Deactivated as the cyberware is, it takes some prying to get it open, but Eager leans in and puts some muscle into it. With a metallic snapping sound, the compartment yawns open. Eager reaches in and pulls out a cylindrical object about the size of a beer can. That means something to you? Yeah, it's a pulse grenade. Last I heard, the Russian military were developing them as crowd dispersal devices, but that was years ago. Looks like Yuli kept a memento of his time in the Spetsnaz. Looks like typical Russian engineering. Clunky, but functional. If I took this thing apart, I bet I could figure out how they were made. Anything else in there? No, not that I can. Without warning, the engineer's cyber arms begin to twitch. His body bucks compulsively while his dead eyes stare straight ahead. What the? Oh, God! The engineer's body surges forward, a violent, convulsive motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull, and then his chest evaporates in a spray of light. As you watch, the chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body blackens. His flesh and spit sparks across the room. As the same reaction that you saw when the drones went up, a thermite reaction. His employers, Winter Night, rigged him to blow. Yeah, must have. I'm willing to bet that if he hadn't used the cyberware deactivator on him, he'd have gone up before we even had a chance to spill any names. If you were looking for further proof, I think this was it. Yeah, looks that way. Let's go. People need to know about this. Well, we didn't let him escape. Eager got revenge. We blew him up. Double Decker was a cold-hearted bastard. I think... Yeah, so I've played through this before, and the character I played previously, Spinelli, a very charismatic elf. I sincerely doubt that she would have let Eager do that. I don't remember what I did. The U-Bahn whisks you back towards the cruise bazaar, Eager standing by your side. The image of the engineer's body disintegrating in flame replays itself over and over in your mind. The bright flash, the shower of sparks, the overpowering stench of sizzling meat. A blue-green afterimage hangs suspended in the center of your field of vision, and it refuses to be blinked away. From what Eager told you, the engineer was a menace, an international criminal at the top of his game. And as you watched, he was consumed from within by a device that marked him as disposable. The rattle of your U-Bahn car comes to a halt, shakes you from your reverie, your home. I don't think they viewed him as disposable. I do think that they are so paranoid about loose ends that they will just kill anyone. Not to say that they're disposable, just to say that no one is indispensable. I think that's their policy. And it's a pretty brutal policy to have. But that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall. Next time, I think we start dealing with Project Bloodline. Good night, everyone.